Hey, it's Mark Comon from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. And we're here in the store, and I had 3 customers in the last 10 minutes want to see my black and white photos. And they were really excited by black and white photography, and I am too. So everyone asked me, Mark, how come you do black and white? Black and white to me is the essence of photography. In black and white photography, it's all about composition and light and the detail in the image. It's not like color photography where we have the color to use to attract the eye. To me, color photography just doesn't have the same emotional impact. So that's why in June, we're having our annual black and white workshop. This is a 3-day workshop, Friday night shoot, Saturday shoot and class, and Sunday shoot and class, where we'll learn about black and white photography, we'll make black and white pictures, we'll learn how to print black and white pictures. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's for June. Let's talk about today. When I do black and white photography, I use my Nikon camera in RAW, and I'm shooting color pictures. All of our digital cameras you want to shoot in the color mode. Why do you want to do color mode? Because you get the most detail and capture the most pixels when you set in high resolution color. You're going to find that black and white works best with a full frame high resolution camera. So with my Nikon, it's my D850 or a D810 or a D750. Canon people, that's a 6D, 6D Mark II, or one of the 5D Mark III, 5D Mark IVs. The Sony a7R III or II will work great for black and white as well. But you want a big file and a big image, and you need razor sharp lenses that are going to give you the fine detail. So let's take a look at some pictures and talk about them. So I thought I'd share with you today some of my pictures from one of my favorite places to photograph, and that's at Disneyland. So I love to shoot black and white at a place like Disneyland. Why? Everyone says, Mark, oh my God, Disneyland's full of color. Wouldn't you want the color there? And I find the color to be distracting. I find the color to get in the way of my composition. So I do black and white at a place like Disneyland. That's amazing. And I use black and white for people, for landscapes, for journalistic photography. I'm even using it for animals and portraits these days because I really like the feel. Now look at this one if I would have shot in color. You've got Snow White's dress, which is just an abusive amount of color. And we don't know what people we have in the crowd, what colors they're going to have. But in black and white, it gets to the essence of the image. It tells the story better. And here, one of my favorite shots from Disneyland, I call it Waiting for Fireworks. Look at all the detail in there. Look at all the amazing action going on. Where in color, you would go right to the girl with a yellow sweater, and that's all you would see. Where in black and white, it's all about the composition and the light. And that's what we love about black and white photography. So I just got back from Cuba, and in Cuba I did color and black and white. So yeah, we want the old cars in Cuba in color. You want to see that detail, you see the boys, and it's a great amount of detail in the picture. It's a lot of fun. This is in color. All right. Here up on the Morro, the old castle in Havana Harbor, in color. Not a lot of color in this one, a very subdued, muted color. Works great for me, I love it. Or this one, a night shot in Cuba. And one of the things I love about night shots is the colored lights. You've got the tungsten lights, you've got the white lights of the cars, the red tail lights. If I convert this to black and white, I lose this and everything turns to gray. So there's a fine line between what works and what doesn't work in black and white photography. I love it though. So here we go. So one of the cars in Cuba, I love the essence of the light, the shadows, the detail. In color, there's a lot of blue and gray in this picture and it's hard to deal with. I love it in black and white. Or here, the red car, fantastic fun. And I love the red. In black and white, this wouldn't work. But in color, it works great. But look what we did in black and white instead. So here we are, the Capitol in Cuba with the car in the foreground in black and white. Looks like the 1950s. And that's the look I wanted in my pictures. Or here, an old car, and I love this one. This was shot on my Nikon D850, 25,000 ISO, low light. Look, there's a little bit of grain in it, but in color it was a mess with all the different tungsten and different color lights. Where black and white, that simplifies that all out, takes it all down. Amazing. Or here, on the tobacco farm in Cuba. I love it. Fantastic light in a shed. 6400 ISO in the tobacco curing shed. Taken out the green of the leaves and the brown on the guy's shirt and his flesh tone and simplified the image. One of the things I love about black and white pictures is they're very simple. It really tells a better story to me in black and white. And I love the feel, the old school look, the different tonality, where I can lighten or darken a skin tone without changing the look of the person. It's so powerful in black and white. So that's why for my pictures from Cuba, you know, I shot 5,000 photos on our week-long photo adventure to Cuba. You guys should all come in one of our photo adventures with us. They're amazing fun. But I shot 5,000 photos. I'm edited down. I'm down to about 250 photos. I've processed around 20 of those, and 4 of the 20 are color. 16 of the 20 that I've processed, I've made black and white. So I do black and white everywhere. So here's from one of our photo walks to Madrona Marsh, one of our local nature centers. And I did the whole photo walk, the whole trip to a nature preserve, flowers and trees in black and white, because I love the power of what black and white does. And this is a different way to look at your pictures. It's all about shape and line and form and composition. And it's about telling a story in a different way doing black and white pictures. It's not something you see every day. And that's why all of you love my black and white pictures. How do I process my digital pictures? Well, I'm a Photoshop guy. So I use Adobe Bridge to bring the pictures into my camera. And then I use Adobe Bridge to edit the photos and Adobe Camera Raw to convert the pictures from RAW to JPEG, work on them in Photoshop, and then I use Nick Silver effects to convert them to black and white. Then go back to Photoshop, do any cropping or editing that I need to do, and I print them on my Canon Pixma Pro 1000 printer. In my opinion, the best printer you can have at home, makes 17 by 22 prints that are absolutely awesome. Now, what paper am I using? The Moab LaSalle Luster and the Moab Juniper Bayarta rag paper. Those are the 2 papers that I'm using to make these beautiful prints. You know, the last prints I'll share with you are some of my favorites. And for those of you who have sensitive eyes, you may want to look away at this point, because these are pictures that I made with my friend Kim Weston. We do 2 workshops a year where we do figure photography. Yeah, those are nudes where the girls don't wear any clothes. If you're offended, turn it off now. So this is my buddy Kim Weston. He's a grandson of Edward Weston. We work at his Wildcat estate in Carmel, and that's Kim showing some of his pictures. And these are the kinds of pictures we make. And I do black and whites on these. So we do black and white figure photography at Carmel for a number of reasons. Number 1, that's what Edward Weston did. That's what Kim Weston does. And for me, I don't care what the old guys did. I like black and white because it makes my skin tones look richer. I have more control over the skin tone, more control over the shape when I'm doing black and white photography of figures. And it's so powerful to be able to use the light to create something that's different and unique. And I invite all of you to come out and take one of the workshops with us. Do the black and white workshop. Do the figure workshop. Come on one of the photo adventures and we'll learn to do black and white photography together. And we'll have a great time, because photography is about sharing and growing and making great images and making your friends jealous that they didn't get to come with us today to make these beautiful pictures. If you've got questions about black and white photography, come on down. If you've got questions about a new camera, come on down to Paul's Photo. This is Mark Comon from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy, inviting you in to make great pictures, to learn about your camera, and to have fun being creative.